With the Junkies at 106.7 FM, The Fan. Morning, guys. It seems like we can't agree now on who to blame for this situation.
No, we were just talking about it. You know, a lot of people love to blame the owner, and he definitely shoulders part of the blame. A lot of people like to talk about Vinny Serrato. He's part of it because he assembles the talent. The coaching has been a little inept. A lot of the calls that Jim Zorn has made. But you know what? A lot of the players, Greg Blosh was just talking about it. Is it his fault that Andre Carter and Phil Daniels are not capable of getting to the quarterback? Is it Jim Zorn's fault that Clinton Portis hasn't run for 100 yards in 8 games?
Don't let Zorn off the hook, though. After the loss to the Lions, his quote was, in the big picture, I think things are progressing. Right. We're getting better. Right. Really? Getting better? Losing to an 0-19 team and becoming a national embarrassment? That's getting better?
Yeah,
I disagree.
Yeah, well, we all agree with that. By the way, the fact that Carter and Daniels and those guys can't get to the quarterback, we knew that in previous years.
Right. So
that shouldn't be a surprise to Blosh and these guys. We needed to trick up this defense from the very beginning.
Well, what I'm saying, though, is that it also is part of the problem is that Vinny Serrato and Dan Snyder, they were happy with these guys. They thought, you know what, we're bringing Albert Hainsworth, we're going to be a better defense.
Well, that's the thing.
Some guys slip.
That's the problem. They're always bringing in that new guy. Oh, let's bring in Jason Taylor. Right. Let's trade away some valuable draft picks for a guy we're going to rent for a year, and he's going to limp back to Miami the next year. Let's give Albert Hainsworth $41 million in guaranteed money.
And remember, this is the oldest team now in the NFL. It's the oldest team. They need to get younger, and you do that through the draft. Right. And with Dan Snyder and Vinny Serrato running the draft, you're not going to do it because it's not sexy enough to, stock your draft picks up to 6, 7, 8 picks a draft. Yeah. So they want to go out and trade the draft picks for the big names. Right. And that's what you get. You get guys who perform for half a year, and then are gone the next year, and you miss out on the draft pick.
Speaking of that, guys, do you happen to have an over-under on the number of consecutive plays Albert Hainsworth can make it on the field?
I would say 3.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
And I don't know. Go ahead.
So let's take what happened in Detroit. Let's try to pull something out of it. The best thing I see is you're playing an equally lousy team this week. So what do you take out of this game with Tampa?
I don't think you take out that much. Unless they lose, we almost think it's almost impossible to lose. Tampa has a rookie quarterback who has thrown how many passes, Jason?
He's not a rookie. He's been in the league a couple of years, but he's thrown 10 passes.
10 passes. Yeah. 10 passes. Yeah. And they didn't even have 100 yards of offense last week.
The Tampa Bay is so dreadful. They've allowed nearly 1,300 yards of offense in 3 games.
That's unbelievable.
If the Redskins can't move the ball on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, season over. It's done.
Yeah, but I don't understand how you guys think that this team is so much worse than the Lions hadn't won in 19 games.
I know, but Eric, you had Matthew Stafford, who's the #1 pick in the draft.
But he was a rookie.
Okay, but is he better than Josh Johnson?
I don't know.
Is Calvin Johnson much better than any receiver?
Clearly.
The Bucs have?
He is.
Matthew Stafford had a quarterback rating of 40 the week before.
Plus, the game is on the road in Detroit. It's home against Tampa. They can't lose
to Tampa. And the defense of Detroit had guys like Julian Peterson. They had some players. Who does Tampa have?
All right, so once again, we're going into the game saying the season's over if they lose, and we're hoping for a win. We're going to find out. One thing that we're also going to find out is how many people continue to go to these games, and especially where you guys are involved, what they're wearing to these games. I understand there's a push underway for a new wardrobe accessory.
Yeah, can we show them?
Yeah,
of course.
Should I model it or just...
Yeah, no,
go for it. Model it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is how we feel.
There it is. How you like that? Dan Snyder hates me. Despises me.
Well, here's the thing. We know the Redskins aren't happy about this, but the next promotion is a boycott.
What's funnier than a guy with a bag on his head? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
And the reality is, in Game 1, the home opener, they were getting booed. They were booing the play calls. They were booing Zorn. Right. Because the whole stadium knew that they were going to run the ball when they shouldn't have been running the ball. Remember, they were in the red zone in that game against the Rams. 15 plays, they let Jason Campbell throw it 3 times.
My advice to Redskins fans this weekend, bring a pair of scissors with you.
Oh, man.
All right, so you can breathe.
Yes, of course. So if you don't, you're going to be screwed.
You got to cut your own holes so you can definitely see. Hey, and look at it this way. It eventually worked for the Saints. About a dozen years after they wore the bags on their head, they actually had a winning team. So, hope is there for the Redskins.
A dozen years? I'm going to be 50 by then.
See, I don't think there's any hope with Dan Snyder as owner.
All right, we'll ponder that one, guys. We'll see you again next hour. Thanks. That's the Junkies on 106.7 The Fan.